Today I'm going to try and fix the fishing rod that I broke yesterday, which is a Shimano Compre graphite rod, and it's a medium action with a fast tip, and I like the idea of the fast tip. A couple of things I could do. I could just, not with this particular handle, but some handles, you can just cut off the last line guide, drill a hole in the handle, and epoxy the end of the rod in, and you have an instant, very nice ice fishing rod, especially when you have such a high quality end of the rod like you have on this one. In this case though, I'm going to try and I'm going to cut off the line guide closest to where it's broken, and I'm going to cut off somewhere, wherever it's going to work, where this is going to fit inside, and I'm going to epoxy it, and this is going to make a great guest rod for fishing for small walleye, panfish, and the like. So we'll see how it's going to turn out. First thing I'm going to do is cut off that last line guide. I'm going to use a hacksaw for that. There we go. You can see the rod's quite thick in there. Now I have to sort of eyeball where it's going to fit onto here and make an educated guess on where I want to cut it, keeping in mind how thick it is, that it has to fit inside. So I'm going to take a wild guess and say right about over here. I can always cut it shorter if I have to. How is that going to work? Not quite. That's going to have to be quite a bit. Quite a bit, I think. I think what we'll have to do is cut it before this guide. So I'm going to take an educated guess and say that I have to cut it by this guide over here. Perfect. That fits in just lovely. Once I get the epoxy in there, it's going to be just wonderful. I think I'm going to rough this up a little bit with some sandpaper to make sure that it's going to stick real well. Taking off the shine on there. Now my epoxy, I'm using some 5-minute epoxy. 5 minutes doesn't mean it's ready to use in 5 minutes. It means that it kind of sets up in 5 minutes, but it's still 8 hours until it works to its maximum strength. Equal amounts of epoxy onto, I've got it on a piece of cardboard here, and you mix it up for about 30 seconds to a minute real well. That's probably pretty good. I'm going to take some that I have on here and just try to put it down into the opening. Get lots of epoxy in there. The more epoxy I put in there, the less it will wobble around and the more secure it'll be. I'm going to take the end, roll that into the epoxy real well. Slide it in. Make sure that the line guides are lined up. Yes, they are. Lots of epoxy. Now I'm just going to sit there and let it sit for 5 minutes. have a look. Well, 5 minutes is up. I can tell that the epoxy that I was mixing is all tacky. When it's all tacky on the rod, that means it's safe to move it. Have a look, make sure everything's all lined up. And now all I'm going to do is I'm going to set this aside for about 8 hours, and then after that it will be completely hardened and ready for use. So rather than throw the fishing rod away, I have now got a new fishing rod. And if perchance it should break again, then what I'm going to do is just use the end and set it up for a nice fishing rod, because that end is really good for the Compre fishing rod. I hope that gives you an idea of maybe what you can do with some of your broken rods. So it's been about 4 hours since I repaired my fishing rod, and now I'm out taking it out for a test run. It's not fully dried yet. It should be 8 hours for full strength, but here I am after 4 hours, and I've actually caught a fish on it, and it's holding up well so far. You can take a look at the bend in it. It's not too bad. I couldn't really wait for 8 hours. I was just wanted to give it a try. And what do we have here? We've got a big perch with its mouth open. There we go. That's the first fish on the new rod, which would have been garbage. Back he goes. We'll see what else we can catch with this new recycled rod.